Game Master Burnout. What is it and how do you avoid it? Hi, I'm Luke from Big Game Small Pieces, and today I'm going to be talking about burnout. This is dangerous and can ruin campaigns and your enjoyment of the game. Some of its signs and symptoms are a lack of enthusiasm about playing the game, no inspiration for coming up with new things, a decrease in game quality, fatigue in both yourself and your players being losing that energy at the table, and finally the campaign being cut short. How does it happen? It usually happens when people take on too much. And this is going to be a combination of they're running too many games. Or life, work has increased in its requirements and attention, and less time is available for games. So it starts getting more pressure on the times and have more pressure on them to make you do things. And so you become tired, stressed about it. And potentially health decreases are another one as to why games decrease and how it all builds up upon you before it finally drops and the campaign ends. But how can you avoid such things from happening to you and your game? Well, number one I would consider is do not commit to long campaigns. Long campaigns, especially if you're running more than one game, are going to start taking up your life. For the first month or two, yeah, things are fine. I can juggle these things. I got enough. But doing that for an extended period of time, weeks, months, will start having its effect on you, and things will potentially start getting dropped. Also, the inability to just finish a game, regardless of your players loving their characters, just finishing a game and starting afresh with something different might be required. You're going to have new interests that come up. You're going to have new sparks that your interests are going to follow. You might have started a spelljamming campaign, but now you want to run an underwater adventure. What do? Long-term games are a big commitment, and you need to heavily consider how much you're doing and potentially not doing them, because it's a lot of work. The next one is encourage others to also GM with you at the same time. Maybe you go week about. You play yours, they play theirs, and you just keep alternating between. Or maybe you run till a period where you're up to 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and then the other person runs theirs. Or maybe every so often when you get to a nice period of pause or a climactic event, you get someone to run a one-shot for you to give you a break. Gives you a bit more time to remember what it's like being a player, and also to enjoy a game a bit yourself. You're the dungeon master. You should also get some time to enjoy the game. Tying in with that is also the fact that you also should be a player at some point. You've got to also remind yourself what it's like being a player on the table, and the things that inspire you and the things that you like. So making sure you're a player at some point during your games, moving around, you get to enjoy that. It's a great thing to throw off the weight of preparation and just rock up with a character who's ready to go. And I'm sure you've got an NPC that you've fallen in love with that you want to turn into a character. Take pauses. Taking pauses before you crash and burn is really good. Just tell the group, hey, I'm flat out at the moment and have nothing ready to go. You guys want to come around and play a board game, watch a movie, do something else that's different. Hanging out together as a group is what we're all doing about, and being creative and having fun sounds fantastic. Have everyone over and play Scrabble, play any of the other board games you've got around the house that gives you a break that you enjoy. That change of pace and shift will hopefully give you time to plan for the next session and be energized for when it comes around and looking forward to it rather than dreading the situation coming around again. Another way to stop burnout is to review your work. Have a look at how much you're putting into what sessions and what you can reduce. I heard when I saw someone's grand table of beautiful miniature terrain and such set up, I said, how long does it take you to set up and pack that up? And they said back, yeah, it takes about 3 to 5 hours to set up a full table and another hour to 2 hours to pack it all away. And I was like, oh, how long do you play your games for? And he said, oh, like 4 or 5 hours. And I was like, that is your whole day of building terrain. I use a clear, open battle map, just a gridded battle map with whiteboard markers to save me on time. And I just draw it out in front of the group within a few minutes. Or before they get there, I draw it out and have the battle map sitting down there. Saves me a lot of time in prep, and we still enjoy the game. Know what you can still get away with, and people still enjoy the game. It doesn't have to be big movie magic. Potentially also increasing the time between sessions. As I said, if no one's willing to go week about with you, or maybe you just play fortnightly rather than every week, and just tell people like, that's what I've got going on in life at the moment. That is my commitment level, so that's what we're doing. I can only run one game a fortnight. Consider also, when running your games, sharing some of the burdens. Turn to a player and say, you're in charge of music. I'm not going to do it all. I might send you a few music clips that I want you to play at certain times because I feel it heightens this particular thing, and I'll give you a signal when it's time to play those ones. But essentially, put someone else in charge of music. Put someone else in charge of initiative tracking. Put someone else in charge of managing food. And put someone else in charge of manning the next sessions. Farm that all out. You are running games. You don't need to be doing everything along that. And people will still enjoy as long as there's some cool battle music, and they'll feel they're involved and important, and they'll get involved and help you. Remove problems. And I guess this mostly sticks to problem people. If there are players at your table that are sucking the energy from everyone, if they're fighting and arguing all the time, tell them to move on. It's a game. We're all here to have fun, and these people are just... could be your best mate, could be your absolute best friend, but the way they are playing the game is just draining on you. You just be open and tell them, listen, mate, I'm just not good enough to live to the standards you're expecting to be played at this point in time. I don't think you're working out like this. If you can't mend your ways and bring new energy to the table, can I ask you not to rock up, because it's a real hard me playing with you being at the table. Copy more, create less. Not everything you do in your games needs to be original from you. Maps, monster sets, worlds, encounter ideas, all this stuff is great, and it doesn't all have to come from you. Pick up adventures, steal sections of it, repaint them and dress them as something new. People won't usually know. Remember, you can reduce your prep by standing on the shoulders of giants. Communicate at the table. Be honest. Tell people how things are going, how you need more time, how things are coming about. People are generally okay with most things you say. They're usually pretty accepting. They understand how much work DMs do. That's why some of them don't want to do it. And that's why others who do it understand, like, yeah, it's a lot of work. We don't always have time for that. Seek potentially new media for inspiration, to inspire you to reinvigorate your flames, your muse. Maybe a new movie, maybe a new type of movie, maybe books, maybe audio, maybe some podcasts, maybe watching someone else play the game that you're about to play online is what you need to go like, yes, I felt the energy at their table. I loved it. I'm inspired, and I love what they did with that one scene. They made it so much better. I'm going to come back at mine with new energy and new warmth, reinvigorated. Remember, that can only go for so long, but maybe that's enough. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. Make sure you're not going over and beyond. This game was originally designed with simple pencils and paper. Just drawing it on a sheet of grid paper or a bit of paper, drawing a map and saying where someone is, and putting dice as your characters and just playing the game. It is not originally built for huge models, sets, and all that sort of stuff. It was people sitting around having a good time, just enjoying a story. And last but not least, but probably the most important thing, is to make sure you're still having fun. Make sure you're enjoying yourself. It's not just players having fun at the table, it's you. You need to enjoy it. And though you can be hard worked and still enjoying it, you need to make sure that you've got a good balance of everything here in your life. Otherwise you become unbalanced. Things don't go well for you then. Hopefully, some of those tips have helped you consider what you're doing. Hopefully, there's some things that you've done that you've yourself I'd really like to know, and I think other people would also greatly appreciate it, if you've got any other tips that someone could use that might save their campaign, keep them long enough to finish and then take their break. Put it down below. I think some people would really appreciate knowing things that you found great, or even your DM burnout stories. They'd love to hear someone else knowing that they're not alone. You are also there, and that we're all part of this great big community, and we're all just playing this game that we all love, and we're all going through periods of high intensity and then low intensity involved with the game. So if you could put anything down below about burnout, I'd greatly appreciate it, and so would other people watching this video. Other than that, thanks for listening, making it this far. I appreciate you being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you at the table.